Hello everybody, and welcome to another Deckman Productions video, and also welcome to Conahey Rail. There was several requests for me to make a tour of Conahey Rail, a video tour, and also an aerial video shots as well, if possible. And I think I can do that for you guys. Somebody had asked me, what does Conahey Rail stand for? Basically, I'm just using my last name to name my railroad, Conahey Rail, using Conrail equipment and rolling stock. So, a lot of the pieces on there have a lot to do with Conrail, such as Penn Central, Reading, so forth and so on. So, let's get started. So, as you guys know, this is the section you got, that's always featured in the video with the trains running around. I recently went dual mainline. The layout originally started as an L-shaped layout in this very corner right here. I do have a video of that goes back to 2015 when I first started, and it was just basically an 8-foot section here and a 4-foot section there of an L, and that was it. And then, of course, if you guys were following along with my series of how Conahey was built videos, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So, I won't get into too much detail with that, but we will go into details as far as some kind of a tour. A lot of people are asking, what is Conahey Rail based on? I get asked that a lot. And the answer to that is Conahey Rail is loosely based on what happens in my town daily, because we do have a short line here called Winchester and Western. And what the Winchester and Western does is they haul grain for the farmers. So I live in South Jersey. There's a ton of farmland here, a ton of farmers. And they grow corn for grain feed for the chickens, and then the farmers take the grain by truck to the grain facility, and then the trains come into the grain facility, which is here. The trains come into the grain facility, and then they pick the grain up, and then the grain gets shipped out by train. And it actually goes to Purdue Farms. Now, Purdue Farms actually owns the silo facility that the trains and the trucks deliver to. And so that's what happens in my town. That's one of the commodities, and that's one of the things I wanted to capture. For sure was the hopper cars and the grain shipping and all that stuff. Now, they recently got into also hauling propane and other hazardous chemicals besides that. But I wanted to catch the grain side of it instead. So that's what Conahey Rail was originally based on. You'll notice I run other trains besides the grain train. I put together an auto parts train. I put together an auto rack train. Mixed freight train. So I run that as a train that's just passing through town. But the grain train actually serves the town on Conahey Rail. And this is, I have actually named this Farmingdale Junction is what I call this. So this grain facility features a Lionel grain elevator and a Corber silo facility kit. The Corber silo facility kit is available at Mr. Muffin's. But let's not get too carried away and too far away. Let's start at the beginning. So I live in a suburban area. Lots of houses, lots of farmland. It's all flat land. Farmland, lots of trees, very little hills. Which is why you don't see any hills or mountains on Conahey Rail. I'm sure most of you were wondering, hey, how come we don't see any mountains or hills? Your layout's all flat. Well, come and visit me and I'll show you lots of flat land here. But at any rate, But at any rate, let's get started on the tour. So let's get started on the main part of the layout here. So we're sort of like panning around to the other side here. So this is the back side of the MTH church, the hobby store, and the hardware store. Those are all MTH pieces. The cars featured are all 143 die cast by various manufacturers. Whatever I can find cheap. You'll see that in most cases I try to stick with Chrysler Power products. And here's what I was talking about, the suburban house, and I tried putting in figures and stuff that try to make it come to life. I really got to get behind and start cleaning this stuff up because between the bugs and getting in the house and the dust and dirt, I really have some cleaning to do. But as you can see, I also got into getting Hollywood cars such as the Starsky and Hutch car. So I really wanted to capture a suburban scene, as if the train is going through a suburban area, just like it does here. That's a Matchbox street sweeper, by the way. And it's O-gauge-ish, as you see. Here's one of my favorite scenes, the bullet scene with Steve McQueen chasing the Dodge Charger. And here's the where the road crosses over two main lines. There is a signal. I still got to play with that to get the distance right, but for the most part it does work. And once again, we wrap around showing you different aspects of the layout. And one of my favorite things on this scene is the milk truck, because there, at one time, not too many people know, there really was a milkman who delivered milk to your house. And I remember that as a kid, the milkman coming to my house and delivering milk. And then if we pan around this way, you can see, whoops, sorry about that, where Vin Diesel lives for the Fast and the Furious. That is the Vin Diesel Fast and the Furious Dodge Charger. He's coming back from his beer run and bringing beer into the house. So once again, I might be going a little quick. The back side of Vin Diesel's house. We'll go on this side of it here. So there's a look. So the school bus is stopping. Kids are getting on the school bus here in this scene. And once again, I wanted to have, oops, once again, I get my hand in there. It's hard to do this without doing that. I wanted to get that suburban area feel on this layout. You see layouts that have the cities and stuff like that. But for me, you know, we don't have that kind of city here. And this scene is the UPS store. I did move this. This wasn't originally here. The UPS store is made by Lionel. And then we have the church and the wedding scene. And like I said, I like Hollywood scenes. Here's the bandit being chased by the Minnesota State Police. He ends up losing them, and they ditch the car. The police ditch the car over a bridge into the lake. If you remember that part of the movie. I try to name some of the stuff after buildings that are actually here, past and present. So Hal Hardware actually does exist. It is a real store, and it's actually in the next town over from me. I wanted to have this A&W root beer stand. I thought it was a great addition to my layout. Another favorite scene of mine is the bank. It's got the flag, which has lights that illuminate the flags. Those two lights up there work, and with a clock. So it looks pretty much like an official bank. So let me see if I can, while I'm holding the camera, turn the lights on for you guys. We'll see how that looks, so you guys can see. There we go. That way you guys got a more appreciation for what's going on during this tour. So yes, those two lights illuminate, and as well as the four lights on the flagpole illuminate. And now you can see the A&W root beer sign flashing. So it's details like that that make the difference. And you can see people walking in and out of the bank. We'll move this out of the way here. Another favorite scene of mine is the Sinclair Gas Station. My grandfather actually owned a Sinclair Gas Station. He was awarded the 5 years of excellence by Sinclair. His dad, my great-grandfather, actually really had a 1950 GMC just like this one, red. When he passed away, my grandfather got it, and I remember the paint was badly faded on it by the time he got it, so he actually repainted it black with gold steps, and it actually came out pretty nice looking. So you can see the service station is being served. You know, this is back when service stations were actually service stations. They were full service. So you had a guy who would check the oil, guy who would wash the windshield. Then you could get tires done, tune-ups done at a gas station at one time, cheap. There's the supervisor. He's watching, make sure everything's good to go. I also added a soda machine and a guy at the soda machine. My grandfather actually really had a Sinclair Ford truck just like that one, so that's why I have it. And once again, we have another Hollywood vehicle. Everybody knows this as the family Queen Truckster from National Lampoon's Vacation, that is. And then there is a auto parts store. Now, once again, I renamed this store to one that was actually in my town. They are no longer in business, but nonetheless, I decided to go ahead and create that scene. Some of these buildings do have interiors. I haven't renamed this. I left it pretty much alone. Once again, more details. So basically, the train that you guys see comes in front of all this. So the train is actually taking the front part of the view. So the first thing you guys would notice in the video, or even visiting here, is the train is actually right in front of you. Instead of going behind the buildings, it's actually the first thing you see, or the first thing you view on the layout. And that's what I was aiming for. Here's the Strasbourg Tower. That's an MTH piece. And then we move along. Oh, the light came back on. So I got the light to come back on the ice cream. I seen that it was off, but it's on now. Gave it a little tap. It must have a loose wire on it. But you can see the detail on that MTH building. It's pretty nice. And there's the car from the Dukes of Hazzard. For anybody who's watched it, it always chases the General Lee around. Roscoe Pico train. And then we have an MTH feed supply store that I have renamed to Dare's Feed and Pet Supply. That was actually a building that existed at one time. I remember my dad taking me there. We would always buy hay and straw for the animals at the store. It's been long gone and plowed under, but I figured I'd recreate it here. Then we have Cross Warehouse with the Christine scene. You know, the Christine car, the 58 Fury coming out of the warehouse, and Dennis Gilder, you know, meeting up with his buddy with the car Christine at the warehouse. But the Cross Warehouse, once again, is a name that was in my town. That's not the original name of this building. My uncle used to work at Cross Warehouse when Cross Trucking was in business. Once again, the trucking company is long gone, but the building still remains. It's under new ownership. Has been for, like, I think right around 30 years. It's been under new ownership. But once again, you can see the trains pass in front of these buildings. The train is still taking priority as far as that's the first thing you're seeing. Then we have something that I named, or the 5 and Dine store made by Lionel. I decided to name Hoy's 5 and 10. Hoy's was actually a store in my town. And for those who don't know anything about 5 and Dime stores, they were basically the dollar store of the 70s, except everything was 5 cents and 10 cents. So they were, you know, the dollar stores of the 70s before inflation, basically. And you can see the train comes through into the tunnels, but we'll keep moving along here. And here's the diner scene. This diner is actually made by Lionel. It is one of the few pieces that they actually made interiors of. Let me get this crossing out of the way so you guys can see what's going on here. But look at that interior. Very nice piece at all, and I'm very happy with it. Like I said, Lionel, they didn't make very many buildings with interiors. And once again, I like to have 70s muscle cars around because when I was growing up, that's all, you know, they were the cars that I seen every day. You know, you would see these Dodge Super Bs and Roadrunners and GTX and Barracudas and stuff like that. The trucks I have are basically Corgi 150 scale, in case you guys were wondering. And here we have the power station. That's MTH. You can see the dual main line passes by this area into this tunnel, and it goes through the next room. Another favorite scene of mine is Middletown Station. Basically, it's where UPS picks up freight by train, and then the train comes in and takes away the UPS car and makes its delivery in other states. I don't think that really happens today, but it's sort of a what-if scene. Alright, there was a request to see an overview or an overhead view of my layout, so let's do that next. Alright, so here's an overview. Right here is the outside main, and this is the inside main. This right here is a siding. Where that brown hopper car lineup is, that's the inside main. The other parts is the outside main. Okay, let's move along. So now you can see where the siding comes in off the inside main. Here's the siding right here, right where those green Penn Central hoppers are. The two blue Conrail locomotives are on the inside main. This right here is a siding where those hopper cars are at. It's something new that I put in because I needed more room for more hopper cars. But we will pan around so you guys can see how the switches are in, how the roadways are done, and of course we curve around. Then you guys can get more of appreciation for how everything is routed. I call this Horseshoe Curve. You hear me refer to that often. I'm not referring to the real Horseshoe Curve. I still call it Horseshoe Curve because that's what it looks like. Now you guys can get a perfect overview of what's going on here. Now, as you can see, the swing out bridge is in the open position, but what will happen is the swing out bridge will actually swing out and run across here and actually connect to this outside main. So that swing out bridge is for the outside main. And you guys see me operate that before. I actually have a video of our opening and closing that swing out bridge. Alright, and it's just more overview because I know I was requested for it. And once again, there's the swing out bridge, which will align this outside main and come across to that outside main. So that bridge actually rotates outward and down. So this is something you guys wouldn't have seen, because I normally don't take shots like this, because I know people, you know, don't like what they call the helicopter view of a layout. But this is a video request, so that's why I'm doing an overview or overhead view of the layout. And this gives you the grander scheme of it. This gives you the grander scheme of what's going on. Okay, so most of you are wondering, I always showed two different points of the layout. Some people were thinking it's that this part of the layout is one layout, and where the grain facility is another part of the layout. Nope. They're all connected together. It's all the same layout. And you can see that the train goes through the tunnel between this wall here, and actually heads into the grain facility scene. So I do have people who are confused, thinking there's two different layouts, and no, it's all connected. It's all one layout. The layout, I have been asked, the layout's 35 foot long by 12 foot wide at its widest point. So let's go ahead and head into the grain facility here, and we'll take a closer look and do a tour here. So I've done some moving around. The firehouse used to be here. I moved the firehouse at the other end of the layout, and moved the post office. So that was something that I did. Crystal Ice is an ice plant, ice factory that used to be in my town. If you wanted ice, you had to go to this building, Crystal Ice, and buy your ice there. It wasn't available in stores. You actually went to an ice house to buy your ice. But that sort of went by the wayside, and the building's still there, but Crystal Ice is long gone out of town. As you can see, I'm still working on a tunnel on this side. It's not so nice and pretty. I do have a portal I have to put in yet. And you can see how everything runs through. So once again, you have the outside main and the inside main. I'm still working on crossovers. Switches are pretty expensive. So, I got one in. I need to buy 3 more switches. There's my grain yard. I have 2 sidings that go in the front of the grain yard. 1, 2. And then I have a 3rd siding that goes behind the grain yard. So there's 3 sidings that serve this big facility. And I wanted to be able to switch grain cars, whether it was on this side of main, inside main, or on the other side of inside main, which is right there. So that's the other side of the inside main. So by doing this update, I was not only able to switch cars from one side to the other, no matter what side they were on, but with this siding, the way I put it in and the way I accidentally designed it, I can actually turn around locomotives or a train up to 15 cars. I can turn an entire train around in another direction. And if you guys want to see a video of that, I can show it to you. But it's pretty neat how it came out. And once again, we swing around. And I'll give you guys an up review, because I know that was requested. Because you guys can only see so much from this standpoint. And as you can see, I can fit quite a bit of grain cars in this facility. And once again, we're going back to, 140, 143 cars. And that silo facility is made by Corber. I decided to go ahead and make it a fantasy Purdue feed station. Although Purdue really does own a silo facility in the next town over, it doesn't really look like this one. It's quite unique looking, but Purdue does actually, in fact, own the grain facility in my town to ship feed to Purdue farms. I'll do a pan around here. And there's my fire station down there now. Future plans is to build a truss bridge right here. That's way off in the distance. I still have to finish up this cornfield. Then I also want to put a dealership in, and I'm thinking I got plenty of room for a small dealership there. Here's my rescue station. I decided to name it Rescue 51. I'm sure you, for those who are older, would remember the show Emergency, and the squad was Rescue 51. These fire trucks are Corgi pieces as well. And then there's your farm scene. And that is a Sanford & Son truck, believe it or not, from the show Sanford & Sons. More Hollywood scene stuff. Combine that I found on eBay. People ask me, where do you find all these die-cast vehicles at? Well, I keep an eye on eBay, and if I see something I like, or think it's to scale, I'll buy it. There's Mad Max, the Road Warrior, with his Ford Falcon. And we'll come around here. And if you guys remember, I had to go 072. I had to go into the next room again to do the loop. It's not finished. I'm up in the air whether I want to finish or not, because it's something that people wouldn't even see, but we'll see what happens. But I'll show you that anyway. Okay, let's do an overview. This grain yard was pretty much a point of interest for an overview video, so I'll make sure I get that in detail. Alright, so now you can pretty much see the overview. So, outside main, inside main, your switching track for the grain yard for the outside spurs, the switching track here for the back side of the grain facility switches off of the inside main. On the other side, outside main. So the train, inside main train, grain train comes through, and then it can switch off here to put cars on the back side. And then there's another switch on the other side that splits off into two more switches, so it can actually and have two more spurs. And then later on, I decided to tie in the grain yard with this side of the inside main. So now I can switch from either side of the inside main line now. And with the way I designed this, like I said, I can actually turn around locomotives or an entire 15-car train. And if you guys want to see that on video, I can do that as well. I know seeing this was a big point of interest. There was many requests I received from different viewers to have an overview of how the track work was done. And once again, I don't mind sharing this. If you guys want to copy what I did, I'm fine with that. I find it an honor, actually, that people would love to copy what I've done or what I did. That's how I learned, or got ideas from looking at other layouts or clubs, and I might have not, copied it exactly, but spun ideas off of it. So hopefully you guys can see how the trains come in. And there's the backside spur. It actually goes under an overhang on that grain elevator made by Lionel. I know this question is going to be asked. I'm probably going to be asked, how many switches did I actually use to make this yard with? So let's count them now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I used 4 switches altogether to create this this yard and the connections. So I hope this overview helps those who would like to recreate my grain facility. And the track bumpers are made by Gargraves, and all my track is Gargraves nickel silver phantom track. And I know I don't want to get boos and hisses for this, but all my switches are also Gargraves. So this is my workshop area, so you'll have to excuse how it looks, but you can see pretty much how the 072 loop comes through. You can see I was thinking about finishing it, but since I still use it as a workshop, I wasn't sure. I don't know if I will finish it or leave it to where I can work off of certain parts of the layout. I still have to build. As you can see, I'm a little short when I went from 054 to 072. So I just got to build in a little filler here to In case the train takes a fall, it won't fall on the floor. I still have that to do. But all in all, yeah, it's pretty much totally unfinished here, with the exception of installing that indoor-outdoor carpet tile. So, like I said, I'm up in the air whether I'm going to leave it unfinished and keep it for all my tools and supplies and stuff. I'll probably end up doing that because, you know, nobody's going to walk back here, and I'm probably not going to feature any videos from this end of it, so. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of Conahey Rail and the story behind it, and the you know, my theme. The future is that I'm gonna keep all my Conrail stuff, but the future is I'm collecting rolling stock as I want to go and run. More likely, I'm going to pick up the Lionel ES44AC Union Pacific when Lionel releases it on time in December, the legacy version. And maybe also the Lionel Union Pacific SD70 Ace with the flag on it, which is already out. So, that's my future plans, is to also run some modern stuff on here. When I'm not modeling what's going on in the real town. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour, Conahey Rail, and thanks for joining Dackman Productions. We'll catch you later.